of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Can I get a roll call, please?
Commissioner Blakely.
Here.
Commissioner Bradley.
Present.
Commissioner Church.
Here.
Commissioner Halley.
Here.
Commissioner McClendon. Here. Chairman Mobley.
Here.
Commissioner Moore.
Present.
And Vice Chair Rogers.
Here.
Right. Got a full house. Can we get the approval of the minutes from last?
Motion to approve as submitted.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So tonight, oral comment from the public. Members of the public can be heard on any item of interest not on the agenda. Speakers addressing the commission will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Be advised that by law, the commission is not able to deliberate or take action on any issue during oral comment. So anybody that has anything to say that's not on the agenda tonight? Okay, seeing none, motion to close public comment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's get on with real business. People come to see. So tonight, we're talking about a public hearing to consider approval for a conditional use permit on the construction of a 4-unit multifamily dwelling, commercial thoroughfare. The Lutheran Home Aging, a 4-unit family permit application. This is on the south side of Smith Lane. Can we get some information on this, please?
Yes, you may. Thank you, Chairman Mobley and Planning Commission. So yes, this is an application for a conditional use permit for a 4-unit multifamily structure in the commercial thoroughfare zone. I have a couple of slides, just the location map, aerial, and then the site plan and a preliminary building elevation. The project is located on the south side of Smith Lane. Oh, my pointer. Right there. And that, for reference, that's Fortuna Boulevard, Runerville Road, and then Newburgh is further south. This just shows the parcel layout, so you can see Runerville Road and Smith Lane, and the parcel is highlighted there. And you'll see on the site plan that there is a common development with a shared driveway between those two parcels. But we're just considering the one tonight. This is the aerial, so it's a vacant parcel. And recently we did do a lot line adjustment on this parcel, moving the east property line closer to the driveway. And the zoning, so this is the purpose for the conditional use permit. It is located in the commercial thoroughfare zoning district. This is a raised used car lot, and this is it PG&E or Caltrans? It's Caltrans. And then, so you can see the commercial thoroughfare is on one side, and the darker salmon color is residential multifamily. And so this is kind of a oddball piece. I think, you know, layout-wise, it kind of works well with the residential multifamily. So the CT zone does require a conditional use permit. Normally, if this were in the residential multifamily zone, it would not require a use permit because it's only 4 units and up to 5 are allowed without a use permit. So we're just following the procedures. And this is the site plan. So I apologize that it's a little bit dark. And I actually have a better view. The site plan, this is the full site plan that you received in your packet. So it's got the notes and everything on it. So then just for our purpose, the close-up view. So this is the parcel to the east that is not under consideration. The parcel for the use permit is the one on the right side there, and you can see the fourplex there. There's 2 units on the bottom and 2 on the second floor. And they are all 1-bedroom units, and they're intended for senior affordable housing. The 2 ground level units will include private patios. The second floor units will have outside decks. Let's see. The parking, so there are 4 parking stalls required by the zoning code for, and it's based on the number of bedrooms. So with each unit being 1 bedroom, there are 4 parking spaces proposed. And you can see that there's a driveway here on the other parcel, on the adjoining parcel, and there would need to be recorded a reciprocal easement, so to just ensure access in perpetuity. And we've done that, actually, you recently did that about a year ago on a Newburgh Road multifamily, if you recall. There was the same thing, and we've done these in the past. So as a condition of approval, during the building permit process is when we make sure that's when this would get implemented, the recording of that document. And then also on the site, so you can see the sidewalk from the public, there's a walkway from the public sidewalk. It goes next to this detached building, and the detached building includes 4 storage lockers, and that's also a code allowance in lieu of covered parking. So either covered parking, carport or garages, whatever is proposed, but in this case, the code does allow construction of these exterior accessible storage spaces. And there's also a laundry room, and also attached is a little outdoor covered seating area. So if they're waiting for the senior bus or waiting for someone to pick them up or just wanting to enjoy the outdoors, there's a space to do that. And then, the other condition of approval that is it's allowed by the code, but it's an exception to the setback requirement. In this case, the stairway is proposed on the property line, so that would be a 0 setback for the stairway. The code does have a provision for that called a 0 lot line setback, and that's allowed for multifamily developments, and that's really just a recorded agreement where the adjoining property owner agrees to this 0 setback. In this case, the adjoining property owner is the same property owner as the applicant here, so there's no conflict there. And I think physically it also works out because there aren't any structures proposed on the adjoining side that's very close to that 0 setback, so there would really be no impact. There's a wide yard area there that separates the 2 structures, and the fact that it's an uncovered stairway, so it's really a very minimal kind of a structure that's projecting into that setback area. What else? I think that's pretty much it. So attached to your staff report are the conditions of approval from the planning department, and that includes the reciprocal access easement and the 0 lot line agreement. Building department's really straightforward development, so that would just require a building permit and a certificate of occupancy. And the engineering department, those conditions are pretty straightforward for this type of a development. There aren't any unique features on the site that would require any exceptional conditions. But if you have any questions about those, I'll be happy to answer them. The one other item is that this is subject to design review. They weren't, they have the option of bringing design review together with the use permit, or it can certainly be submitted later, and that's what they wanted to do. But they did submit a preliminary elevation so that you would have a sense for what the structure will look like and its compatibility with the neighborhood and things like that. And I think the design, is really nice and appropriate. It's got, plenty of variation in the roof line, a variety of windows that add interest. It's got a hip roof with the gables and the shingles within the gables. So I think it has a lot of nice design features that will fit in with that neighborhood. So with that, I'll pass it back to the Planning Commission for any questions.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have anything you want to bring up, talk about it, on it? Concerns?
I just have a question. Says that they have to have in writing written permission of the property owner of the private lot adjoining the yard that is being encroached upon. Is that, do they have that? Have they obtained that?
Yeah, that, I believe you're referring to that zero lot line option. So that's the stairway that is approaching, it's not encroaching over the property line, but it's, it's in close proximity, like within a foot, or it can be constructed up to the property line.
They do have permission for that.
Yeah, and that's they have permission now. It's actually the same property owner who owns both parcels, and it would be a recorded agreement. So it will be recorded basically as notification in the future, or just as a way of, documenting that, yes, the normal setback of the zoning code is being waived, and it's following the provisions of the zoning code where notice is getting recorded. And that provision comes right out of the zoning code.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else? Questions, comments? Looks like a good project. Okay. Oh, yeah, let's bring it up to public comment. Anybody have anything they want to bring up? Step up, please, if you would like. No, nobody has anything to say. Okay, motion to close public comment on this.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So back to you guys. Anything anybody want to talk about on this? Looks like a good straightforward project.
Absolutely. Well planned, looks nice,
Yeah.
thoughtful, undersized requirements.
Okay, can't wait.
I'm prepared to make a motion then.
Let's make a motion.
I'll make the motion to adopt resolution number PC 2020-3034, a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of Fortuna approving the conditional use permit for the construction of a 4-unit multifamily development.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, can we get a roll call, please?
Yes.
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 Aye.
Yes.
Okay. There you go, all done. We'll see you back again for the other half of it. All right, looks like we're moving on to staff report.
This is an informational item. Just had the one project itself, so I wanted to provide you with the City Council's monthly report for February. And if you've had a chance to look at that, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me about them. I'll just call out 2 items. One is that something you will get a notice of. It's an invitation to the city's cannabis workshop. The city manager's office is actually spearheading that, and we're working together on the agenda and the topics and things like that. So there's just been talk, I think, just informal chatting about the city's cannabis prohibition, within the city limits, and it's basically a blanket prohibition on any activities. But now that, the industry is kind of settling in a little bit, and we have a better picture of, how things are operating or in what direction they're going in. The council wanted to take a closer look and just kind of revisit the topic and just find out what other cities are experiencing and what the drawbacks and what the advantages are, and if it's something that the city wants to consider again, amending that code, or if it's something that the council and Planning Commission would ultimately be involved in. So you will be invited to that. I think they're actually scheduling it as a joint meeting, like an actual meeting. I think really the only reason for that, or the main reason for that, they want you to hear what the information is, but also if there's, I think that if there's more than 3 planning commission members at a meeting, it's good to have that, scheduled, agendized as a actual planning commission meeting. So it would be a joint planning commission council meeting. Right now, it's tentatively scheduled for Thursday, April 9th. I don't know if the city manager has reached out and asked about your availability. Probably something that we should do.
I have not seen anything on that.
Yeah, I'll get more information for you and either email out to you or at least at the next meeting.
Would it be an evening meeting
Yeah,
at this time?
Yeah, 5:30 to 8:30 is what they're scheduling it
Okay.
right now.
I have a class that goes to 6. I could potentially leave early, but if it could be at 6, I could,
Yeah.
kind of bust.
Does anyone else know of any conflicts?
What day of the week is that? Is that a Tuesday yet?
Thursday, April 9th.
I'm good with any time for that.
I want to say that the Rotary is having one of their dinners that night.
Oh,
Um,
I'll let them know.
well, I'm not sure how many of the council members. I don't know if that's a
Do you
regularly
need
scheduled.
a quorum?
City council meeting.
No, because no action will be taken.
They just want us to be there to be involved with.
Yeah, and I think it's more, if
Knowledge.
you're interested, it's not, like, again, there's no action that's going to be taken, but I think it'd be really interesting, and especially if it does come back to the planning commission for a zoning recommendation, then, that information would have made available.
And the county is giving a certain portion of tax revenues back to cannabis businesses right now. So I think it's also through their Trellis program.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot to learn and be aware of. So this is just one part. And the speakers are geared towards the other cities and the county and industry people in Humboldt. So it would definitely be focused on things that are happening in Humboldt. Okay, and then the other item is, I've been reporting on this, it's kind of dragged out for a long time, but the SB2 housing grant, or a housing planning grant that we had applied for last summer. They finally awarded, and we did get awarded that grant. It's $160,000. And the purpose of the grant is to either create affordable housing, or it's anything that increases affordable housing. So it can be construction, planning. In our case, what we applied for was a number of planning programs that come from our housing, mostly come from our housing element. So it's a way to implement the housing programs that the city said, this is what we're going to do as part of our housing program. And during the housing element, the state really encouraged us, kind of basically directed us to next time we want to see some of these programs actually adopted and implemented. So a couple of the more exciting ones, there are 6 of them, and they're all really good programs. The accessory dwelling unit zoning update. So what this will do is fund planning professionals or planning consultants to actually walk us through, or do the footwork on these and schedule everything and basically fund, just have this extra funding opportunity in addition to supplement staff. So, this is really a way that we're going to be able to get these things done, and we're really happy about having received the funding. So that would be for accessory dwelling units, the ordinance, a multifamily update to create a set of standards that could then be like basically over-the-counter submittals and approvals. If multifamily projects followed this set of standards, the approval would not go to the planning commission, just on bigger projects or when there's exceptions being requested. And that's something that comes from the state as well. So they want to see multifamily affordable housing really facilitated, and they are getting cities to remove any barriers or anything that delays it. So, but still, we'll have a checklist, a site plan review, and a certain set of standards that will implement the city's codes and whatnot. Design review guidelines. that's exciting. So to have professionals who, have the time and just the background to be able to do that. Infrastructure planning, including financing methods to assist affordable housing, and then a GIS mapping update to include a variety of things, not everything in these grant programs or the SB2 grant programs have to be all about affordable housing, as long as what we had to do is demonstrate that they would result in additional housing, affordable housing, but other components. So for example, on the GIS mapping, we'll be able to, all we had to do was demonstrate that, we could map vacant land that's suitable for multifamily housing, be able to track different types of components like affordable housing that has been approved or that is underway, and that just helps us report to the state. So anything related to affordable housing and multifamily housing and vacant land. So having vacant land mapped can facilitate housing because you have that information available to the public and to developers, and it's just easier to go out and promote affordable housing or development opportunities. And then we'll also be able to map other things that might be more helpful to, say, the engineering department or public works, so we can map infrastructure and also infrastructure gaps that, then we can apply that other component, infrastructure planning and financing methods, if we know what the gaps are that sort of inhibit multifamily development. So anyway, we're excited about that. We're going to be doing the RFP shortly, and then those things will be coming to the Planning Commission and the council as they make their way through. Any questions about anything out in the city or anything in the monthly report?
12th Street's looking really nice.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's gotten repaved and sidewalks repaired, and
Some new striping going on, and
Are
nobody
there,
drove through the striping, which was really nice.
the construction trucks are all gone. That was kind of a lot of delays, but we were happy to do it. Did you have a question?
not that important.
Oh,
Anybody have anything want to bring up, talk about? Say hi on TV? Okay, looking for nothing, so looking for a motion to close.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bam, that was a quick one.